Let's.
Yeah.
So today is the Travis Jones podcast. We are going to talk about building an online business, how I've done it in the past a couple of times, how you've done it as well. Now for this, if it does cut out on the Facebook Live, it's because Zoom's capabilities is struggling right now with its 200x increased customers that they've got right now. So if not, you will get it after the fact, guys, and we'll upload this podcast. But today we're going to go through how I built actually, it was a $500,000 business with zero marketing spend. How we've done the same with marketing spend, how you did a $500,000 business with marketing spend online as well, with your brother. I think it's always been, there's different ways. There's, many ways to skin a cat, as they say. So I think we're going to go into the different ways that we do this, man. And we have done this in the past. And we've coached some people to do, $1 million plus online. So I think there's definitely the ways to do it. You don't need to have elaborate many chat sequences and, funnels that go left, right, up, down, all the rest of it. Sometimes it just takes a bit of targeting and some grit, and being good at what you do as well at the same time. So for anyone who's listening today, strap in, get a seatbelt because you're probably going to need it for this one. And let's get into it.
Yeah, man. I guess people are often surprised to hear that, not only have you had success with gyms, with RBT, but you've actually ran really successful online programs before. So when this whole coronavirus thing hit, we were actually in a really good position as well as our clients, just because we've got so much experience running online programs and online PT. But yeah, there's, I guess over the years, technology has come a long way. You and I joke about it all the time, like far out of technology was where it was today, where it was in 2012 when we were first launching these online programs, man. Remember, we were building landing pages and membership sites, with code in WordPress and stuff. Like there was none of this simple stuff out there.
I remember the first time we opened up a couple of gyms and I was like, you know what, now I want to run this online business, and we'll talk about that and how we launched it. And it was called Transforming 28 back then. I remember trying to build the websites. We're using Member 360 for the membership site. Then we're using Facebook groups that were embedded inside that. Then we're using Infusionsoft to link down different funnel pathways. I was using affiliate keys to load affiliates. I was like, it was actually pretty crazy to do that. And we grew it to 5,000 members paying a monthly subscription fee within 5 months, which is absolutely crazy. So we're doing $50,000 a month within 5 months. So live stream just cut out. So
there you go.
it's like Zoom shit itself. So with this, it went to this route so fast, it was crazy. So what I have to look at is you can do it. We did it, and I spent no marketing on this. And I think that's the craziest thing as well. So let's go into it, man. What questions do you have?
Well, I guess, when you first started T28, you had this idea. Where did this idea come from? Did you go from the start? I'm going to have 5,000 people paying this much per month, and I'm not going to spend any money on Facebook ads. I'm just going to get them all organically. Where did the idea come from?
Well, man, I got sort of sick of basically just training people in the gym. I wanted a new challenge, which also it comes down to being entrepreneurially minded, where you get you want a next challenge, a next challenge, a next challenge. I think that's where I went from there. So I was like, what is the next challenge? Let's start to build an online business. I did not think I was going to try and make a 5,000 person online business, anything like that. It was just I wanted to help more people. I wanted to change as many lives as possible. So with this, I wanted to go, well, how can we do it? And for me, it was going to be trying to essentially do that as fast as we possibly can. I'm going to try and go live on Facebook through my Facebook whilst doing Zoom right now.
We might break the internet.
I know, I feel like it right now.
Yeah, so the structure of the T28, and I think this is going to be a really key theme across this whole podcast, is that how to structure your online program. I feel like this is where everyone gets a bit caught up because they're just like, how the hell do I deliver this? Did you have a clear idea of how you wanted to deliver the T28 program when you first started?
Yeah, I definitely did, man. And I think that's one of the biggest things. I had the idea of how to use I think I just froze my screen. I can't do this. There we go. I'm not going to use both at the same time. Sorry, guys. You cannot get Facebook Live going at the same time. We only have one camera. So that was holding me back. So I think the biggest thing for me is I did have the exact understanding of what I wanted to do with T28 when I launched. And with this, it was like, am I paused for you?
I can still see you.
Okay, no worries. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And the way I ran T28 was there was a 4-day low carb phase. And then post the first 4 days, they went into like a medium carb and then went into a carb cycling phase. So the nutrition protocols were all there. Then I had at-home training, and then I had also in the gym training. So there was 2 gym training protocols there as well. So that's how we essentially did the nutrition training protocols, so we could try and make sure everyone was like more weight loss based. And I think that's the biggest thing we focused on. It wasn't like hypertrophy based or anything like that. And the nutrition was simple but effective. I had people losing crazy amounts of weight. They were getting lean. And because it started to grow so fast, I started to get media attention as well. So it was in Men's Health, and then it got picked up by Women's Weekly. I got on, I think it was 3 or 4 radio shows, like the different FM stations. Like it started to gain traction so fast because I was having so many people on it, and it went pretty crazy. Then from there, other gyms started to ask me, essentially, like, how are you getting great results, and how are you doing this online thing, and can you sort of help us with it? So should we roll back all the way? That was the protocols and what we used, and the monthly training change, and nutrition and recipes change on a monthly basis. So there was always variety there. And then from there, what we did is obviously there's the marketing to how to get people in it.
Yeah. So how much were you charging? Now, from memory, I think it was free to begin with as like a free trial, and then it rolled into like a monthly debit, right?
Yeah, man. Like, so with this, what it was to start with was I did it free for the first month. And then after that first month, what I did was I asked them to do a PayPal donation to how much they thought it was worth. So I was like, I just wanted to sort of gauge how many people were there. So I had like 100 and like 20 people in that first month. I put up a Facebook status, got people to tag everyone in it. I joined them into a group. We had 100 plus people in there. And then the donations at the end of the first month was essentially anywhere from, $150 all the way down to like $5. So it was quite funny. And what I did, and why I wanted to obviously launch it, I wanted to help as many people change their lives as possible. So I said, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it $10 a month. And it's literally just $10 a month. It's so low that people are just not going to have to, they don't have to worry about it. And essentially it's at a price point where like they feel like they're getting massive value for money. Plus I don't have to do individual nutrition plans. Plus I don't have to do individual training protocols as well. It's just mass delivery, and they loved it. There was a Facebook group. They post their photos. They post their food every day, sweaty selfies and all the rest of it. So that went really well for us. And then after that first month, what I said to them is to move forward and to keep going with T28, you get your next month free if you refer someone to come in. And then like we had a referral option on the website where they got a referral key. It wiped off their monthly payments if someone came in under the cookie that was their referral key. I might be saying the wrong terms, but I can't remember. It was so long ago. I'm a technology-based person, as most people understand. But we went from like 100 to like 200. And then we did the same the next month. We went from like 200 to about 500. So after 3 months, around 500 people paying, and we're doing about $5,000, $6,000 per month. Now, after that, this is when people started asking me, can I use this system? And then we used an affiliate system pumped in with the Member 360 and Infusionsoft, and I got 32 affiliates all around the world. I had people in US, Canada, UK, Australia who had gyms, and they were selling this protocol for nutrition and training to people who were in their gyms, but also out of their gyms. They took 50% of the money, and I took 50% of the money. So I was getting like $5 a month from them using our protocols. So with this, the 32 people, they ran 32 different Facebook groups. and they had about 100 on average in these Facebook groups. So mine was going like 400 to 800. We capped the groups at about 150. We ended up with about 5 groups for us and about 1,000 people directly under ours, under our T28, and we had 32 affiliates with around 100 to 150 in their groups. And from that, that's how we hit 5,000 members. So, 3,500 of those members, to 3,500 to 4,000 of those members, I was getting 50% of the revenue and helping support 4,000 other people and their coaches make more revenue, change more lives. And they did all the marketing to get it in. I gave them a couple of posts and before and afters that they could post to actually grow this. And I did my thing as well. And all of a sudden, it's went poof, and we have 5,000 people. And so we're making $50,000 a month, and I was cutting out, $20,000 a month in affiliate fees.
Yeah, man. I think this is like the perfect setup to like what we need to talk about with online business, is because Trav's version is like one end of the scale, which is low end, super affordable, but mass scale. And if you do it right, like Trav did, it can be really profitable, and it just is like self-sustaining, because the more people that come in, the more people like refer. And even if you don't have a referral program, people just tell each other about it all the time anyway. And it just spreads like that. But it's really hard to get that initial traction, and you can't go into it needing to make money straight away. Is that right?
That's it, man. I think like so many people, it depends. Like you can still do it the way I did it back then, right? Like, you have your Instagram, blow it up, get people off there. Like, you start asking influencers to push them into it. Like that's another way you could do it. Could be a free 28-day challenge. You ask some influencers to post to get them into your group, and you could have 300, 400, 500 people in it straight away. And it might cost you $1,000 to pay an influencer. But like, you can just do it on your own Facebook post, and you could get people in that way. But you can't do it paid if you want to do it this way. You need to put goodwill into the marketplace, okay? You have to put goodwill out there. And because there's that reciprocity involved, people want to give back to you. And that's where this way goes. Like you give out goodwill, reciprocity comes, and then it starts to explode on the back end. But at the same time, guys, you need to be good at what you do. You can't just give some half-baked plan out there, which is like, here's a shitty PDF that doesn't even look formatted, not show up and help them out. Like you need to have, charisma. You need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to, inspire them to be a part of your tribe and your community. You need to stand for something and stand against something. Like back then, I stood for paleo. Like that's what we did back then. Like that was my beliefs back then. Obviously, we've progressed, and as you grow, you learn more, and we moved away from that because I love pizza. But that was our beliefs, and that's what we stood for, and that's what we were. That everyone was a part of that crowd. I stood for training and moving into strength training, and that's what we stood for. So we moved people from at-home training into the gym after their first or second month. But if you can do that, definitely an angle. We don't do that currently right now for RBT because I don't have the ability to put that much time and attention personally into a group with the level of energy it would take me. We currently have 1,000 people doing our online program, which we transitioned from the gyms. And also we have, another program that's like $50 a week that we're running before COVID-19. And we're making 6 to 7 sales for that every single week. And the sale price for that is about $800. So with that, we're making about $5,000 in sales per week, every single week, or $4,500 per sales a week, every single week before COVID-19. And we've continued that since then. So that's one online business we've been running just in the past. That's $50 a week. We have our gym online business that we're running right now, which is $37 a week, and it has Zooms and all that sort of stuff. And we're marketing and selling that as well. And we also have had in the past, essentially a sports model project that we were selling at $67 a week, similar to our $50 a week one. And before that, there was the T28, which was $10 a week. Yeah. So we've got multiple angles and multiple ways to actually do this protocol.
Yeah, let's talk about, so after the T28, 2012, 2013, that's when I was one of those guys that reached out to you. And I think my brother reached out to Liv and was like, we're trying to get this online thing working. You guys are killing it. And that's when we both went down that kind of pathway of the high end. And so, you guys had the sports model project, which was really niche down. And this is how we copied you as well. We went into the Man of Steel program, which was just for men who wanted to become elite and really, really high end. Like we were charging $87, $97 a week just for online. Let's talk about how that differentiated in structure, because that business we found at that price point was a little bit harder to scale. I mean, we got to, high cash flow and high profitability really quickly. But it was kind of capped at like that $30,000-$40,000 a month mark, because for that price, you needed a lot of coaches, a lot of manpower to service customized nutrition programs, customized workouts, and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, man. Like we have multiple ways to do it at the moment, but it's like for the Sports Model Project, or even like our program we run at the moment, which is $50 a week. It's just there's a high level of touch point. It's not randomized or generalized programs. It's very specific to the person's need. So essentially, someone would come in, we'd sell them at $67 a week for a 16-week program. The reason why we did $67 a week because it was a phone sale, and I don't really like to make anything less than $800 when I'm having to get on the phone and make a sale. But like that's normally it's like around $1,000 is the minimum threshold if I'm trying to do a phone sale. So we could up it to like 20 weeks and we're bang on that sort of $1,000 sale. So they get set up. For us, we use Keystone right now. Back then, we didn't use Keystone. We used like a MyFitnessPal, a Facebook group. And, for our training protocols back then, we still use a membership site. So what they got back then, the Sports Model Project, they got a weekly webinar where I do a new webinar topic every single week for their 16 weeks within the Sports Model Project. And after the Sports Model Project, they actually advanced to Sports Model Project, phase 2. We had some great transformations from that as well. It's pretty crazy. But they got a weekly webinar, they had a weekly one-on-one phone call with their coach that was about 10 to 15 minutes. So their coach is helping them through this. They had individualized macros and nutrition plans where the coach would help set them up. It's like, these are your macros, this nutrition. They'd have to do a weigh-in every single week. They'd have to do a video diary every single week. They'd have to do girth measurements every single week. So what we would do over the 16 weeks would hopefully they'll lose 0.5 to 1% of their body weight on a weekly basis. So they would be down 8 to 16% of their body weight over the 16 weeks. So they could have a dramatic transformation. There was such high accountability. They had to post before and after. They had to post the before and afters every week. They would have to post a sweaty selfie after every single session that they did. So we're seeing that. They would do video diaries, obviously, every single week, and we could collage those for marketing messages. But there was so much accountability and for us, we had coaches that would look after about 50 people. So a coach could look after about 50 people with that. Right now, using Keystone, a coach could look after like 100 people quite easily because it's a systemized process with the software now. But yeah, that's how we did it, man. Just sold it. We didn't sell. You're selling a transformation. I think that's the biggest distinction. This is where people go wrong with online. It's because the PT mindset, what happened is, they're selling their time for money. Okay. Like what's what does it charge? When I was working at Fitness First, that's what it was like. It's like, oh, I'm $40 an hour, or I'm $60 an hour, I'm $100 an hour. And that's what you're selling. You're selling the dollar value of your time an hour. And then when you open a gym, it's like, oh yeah, $67 a week. Now you're selling a weekly value or $77 a week. You're selling essentially the plane, not the island. And that's the biggest thing that people need to switch and get away from. Now, if you're transforming someone in your gym for $67 a week over 16 weeks, that's like it's $1,000, something around that, right? So
yeah,
that's $1,000. Now, it's costing $1,000 to create a dramatic transformation, okay? You're transforming their body. They're not paying for the 4 sessions a week. They're not paying for the nutrition plan. They're not paying to see you, okay, like twice a week or whatever it is. They're paying $1,000 to transform. It doesn't mean if they only saw you once a week, 55 times a week, once a month, they'd still have to pay the $1,000 to get the transformation over 16 weeks. So that's what the cost of your transformation is, because they're paying for the knowledge that you've had over the last, for me, like in the industry for 17, 18 years now, they're paying for the knowledge that I've acquired over 18 years. And that knowledge for a 16-week transformation costs $1,000 in the gyms. So with that, the knowledge for a transformation online, how much does the transformation cost online or offline? $1,000, because you're paying for the transformation, okay? We're giving you the tools to transform yourself over 16 weeks for $1,000. Now, with that, that's where you have to start selling the island. It's like you need to get them emotionally invested in the island. It's like, this is what you're going to look like. This is what you're going to feel like. This is how your life's going to change. This is going to be you, your heroic self. Everyone's going to, essentially interact with you differently. You're going to interact with everyone else differently because you're going to be more confident. You're going to be more courageous. You're going to feel amazing. Your energy levels are going to be through the roof. You're going to be a different person for your family. You're going to show up in life differently. That's what you're getting for $1,000. You're getting a different fucking life, right? Like that's the difference. If you sell the life changing, it's still $1,000 when it's online or offline. But for most people, because they're used to selling the features in the gym, they find it hard to sell the same price online because they don't get the same features. So they're like, oh, but they're trying to justify how much it costs. It's like, no, you don't have to justify shit. You're giving them a 16-week transformation. And if you can guarantee that, it's like, hey, this is what we do, we're good at it, then you're confident in it. If you're not good at what you do, 100%, you're not going to be as confident because you have no idea how to get results. And then online will be hard.
Yeah, people buy things to solve problems. People buy things to, feel a certain way, right? And at the moment, they've got different fitness problems. Like their problems aren't that, they just aren't motivated or, they just couldn't get into the gym. Like now their problems are they're eating too many quarantine snacks at home, self-isolation snacks, but seriously, like they're feeling more sluggish because they don't get out of their pajamas until like 11 a.m. each day because they're stuck at home. And then that carries on to the rest of their day and they're not doing any workouts and they're not looking after themselves. So they've got different problems that they want to pay to get solved.
Well, 100%, man. I had a coaching client with some guys that we coached up in Sydney yesterday, and they're like, okay, I'm struggling with the sales part of things, literally what I was talking about before. I'm struggling with because before I used to be able to sell, we do yoga each week. We do essentially like you have individualized semi-private sessions or one-on-one sessions. It's like, what do I say? We have like Zoom classes. I'm like, no, man, like you need to talk to them and be exactly where they're at the moment. It's like, Karen, where are you? Karen, in 8 weeks, where do you want to be if you're selling an 8-week program, right? And I'm like, in 2 months, if you get out of isolation in 2 months, if that's when it happens, because everyone says, who knows? But let's just say it's 2 months. It's like, hey, Karen, well, at the moment you're at home, you're probably unstructured and you're bored. You could have gone to the gym in the past, or you might not have, but where do you want to be in 8 weeks? Because you're at a crossroads right now. And you're currently isolated at home, probably not working in your business. When you get back to work, Karen, you can be, on average, 5 to 8 kilos heavier, and people go, oh, wow, Karen gained the quarantine weight, right? Or you can get back to your office and everyone's like, wow, what happened to you in quarantine, Karen? You dropped like 5 to 6 kilos and you're looking smoking and you look like you have full of energy and you look amazing, because you got to hit them with some stats if you can. This is why you got to be educated as much as you possibly can as well, guys. If someone was walking like 10,000 steps and they're like 70 kilos beforehand and now they're stuck at home, and they're walking like 3,000 steps, that's a difference between about 350 calories a day. So on a weekly basis, they're burning about 2,400 calories less a week. So just by them not going to work, they're going to be, over the next 8 weeks, burning on average about 10,000 to 12,500 less calories. So you're going to put on 2 kilos no matter what, Karen, because you're going to be like, if you eat exactly what you're eating now. Yeah. And Karen, let's get reality right now. Let's get into reality. You were not going to eat what you were eating like what you were beforehand, were you? Because you're sitting at home, you're bored, the fridge is 5 steps away, like it's just not going to happen. So you walk into the fridge 55 times a day, you're going through 4 packets of Tim Tams and a tub of Ben & Jerry's every single day. Your calories have spiked by about 1,500 calories a day. It's not only you're burning less calories, you're eating so much more. So with that, you're likely to put on 5 to 8 kilos. Now, Karen, tell me right now, are you bored at home and have you done boredom eating in the last 2 weeks? She'll 100% say yes. Yeah. And go, well, do you think if someone was you were accountable to someone, and do you think that if you had to check in with someone, you had a nutrition plan that not only helped you lose weight, but kept you full? Did you know certain foods, Karen, give you different satiation levels so you're actually fuller for longer so you don't keep reaching for snacks? Did you know that? No? Well, that's what our nutrition plan does. It keeps you fuller for longer so you don't have to keep snacking all the time. And Karen, what about your workouts? Do you know how to create like a progressive overload at home with your workouts? You don't need to do all the fancy equipment, but we teach you how to do it. So you train in the morning and you feel amazing, because it's very easy to go down in energy when you're at home. But if you train in the morning first thing, just for 30 minutes, your endorphins and your energy system is on a kick upwards for the next 12 hours. Like, Karen, do you want to feel great every single day for 12 hours during quarantine so you can be your best self for your kids, your family, your partner, your dog, everything else? Do you want to feel fucking fantastic? She'll say yes, yes, yes. It's like fantastic. And the byproduct of all this, Karen, you go back to work, you're like 5 to 8 kilos lighter. Now, how do you feel then when everyone's looking at you going, geez, you're smoking? Like, how does that feel? I was like, great. And she's like, okay, cool. Like, what do I do? Well, Karen, we don't take everyone. We take on 5 people a week because it is a specific program. We do give you individualized nutrition. We do give you individualized macros. We only coach a few people at a time, like those 5 people we take on, so we can make sure our service is top notch. We interact with you every single day through our Keystone platform, because I look at what you're eating. It's in a live feedback loop. So if I see you eating a Tim Tam, Karen, I will send you a message, say, put the Tim Tams down, because I'm always going to be watching you. And now that level of accountability, what we do is $50 a week. It's $7 a day, Karen. For me to help you increase your energy, for me to help you stay full for longer, for me to help you drop 5 to 8 kilos over the next 8 weeks, for me to help you feel better about yourself, it's $7 a day. Can you afford $7 a day to achieve all of that? These are a MasterCard.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, these are a MasterCard, right?
Yeah, and like the stat with like 50% of people have already admitted to drinking earlier in the day now, and like it's like, but like everyone listening right now is thinking, far out, TJ's so smooth with all of that. But it's like, if you've got the script and you've got the questions in front of you, which we've got for all our clients, it's easy, and it becomes like clockwork, because you just got to ask the right questions. And asking the questions like that, and asking the questions about the alcohol when they're drinking it, it's like all of a sudden they go, well, yeah, I actually have been drinking more wine every night. So have you been buying more bottles of wine, Karen? And she's like, yeah, I've been actually buying 2 or 3 more bottles. Well, how much is that costing you, Karen, per week? Oh, well, it's costing me about $50-$60 extra a week.
Are you buying a goon bag, Karen, or are you actually buying some wine? Like, what are you drinking? It's the truth, man. Like, at the start of our script, it's like, you know, what are you eating out? Like, how many snacks are you having? It's like, where do you eat out? Like, where do you normally Uber Eats? Like, how much alcohol do you drink? Do you still drink coffee? How much coffee do you drink? What type of coffee? So all of a sudden, we're putting like dollar figures next to those, and you can put a circle at the, like, you're not telling them you are, but for you, if they say it costs too much for $7 a day, you can see they're still getting 2 takeaway coffees. They're buying 3 bottles of wine a week. They're having 3 tubs of Ben & Jerry's. It's like, dude, you're spending $120 a week taking away from your goals. Like, you can still have like a bottle of wine, Karen, just not 3, okay? You can still have a coffee, just not 2. And like, drop the tub of Ben & Jerry's, and I'll teach you how to make some great food that keeps you full, and you're not going to feel like you're guilty, so you start binging, right? And that's how you can afford it. And that's how we put it back on the clients at the end when we're overcoming objections. Like, everything they tell you in a sales consultation, they're giving you a tool in your tool belt to come back at them to help them, you know, overcome the objection.
Yeah, 100%. So it's got the client objections, but yeah, as you talked about, Trav, it's like your own self limitations and your own objections that you're telling yourself around, oh, I can't sell online the same as I sold in the gym, or I can't charge that amount. Like, that's the stuff you need to get over yourself, because you're letting your own brain sell you and object to you actually getting what you want.
Dude, 100%. Like, one of our marketing right now is like females 55 or 50 plus, right? It's menopause, right? So with that, our sales have actually gone up. You know, like, that's gone up so much over the last since COVID-19, because they're in the high risk category. Okay. Mm-hmm. So they're even more health aware right now. So we've changed our script slightly for our sales script, going, how do you feel being in the high risk concern for health with COVID-19? Okay, fantastic. So because you're in a high risk category, you know, the healthier you are, the less risk it is for you. So is that the reason for your livelihood you wanted to start trying to become better? And now you're selling them into your fitness program because they're moving away from death, right? There is no higher motivator than someone not wanting to die to buy your fitness program. Like, it's like death and taxes, right? People are afraid from that stuff. So they'll pay you the $1,000 so they do not die, because they want to become the healthiest version possible. And it's not like, if you don't buy my program, you're going to die from COVID-19. It's just like, You are 100% in less risk if you're a healthy person. If you drop 5 to 8 kilos, if your blood pressure comes down, like all this stuff, if you're a healthier person, you're in less risk. And they are worried about their health. Plus, they're not worried about the job they currently just lost. They've retired. They've got their money. They're good, right? So it's like there's less price objections with that demographic as well. So like that, those sales have gone actually, they've nearly doubled in the last sort of 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, let's talk about the actual delivery of the content. So, yeah, back in the day, you mentioned before, you didn't have the Keystone app. We used MyFitnessPal, but I love the fact that you were so frustrated that there wasn't like a one-size-fits-all app. You just like, stuff it. I'm making my own app, and it's going to be the best damn app in the whole world for this stuff.
And we're getting there, man. Like for me, like Keystone, we've been on this path for nearly 2.5 years now, building this software and app portal. I believe some of Dan and the guys are some of the best in the world at what they do, and they're part of the team. And for us, there's an app and there's a software portal, and it's a performance-based software. We keep adding layers to it. So the way we do it now is we send out an invitation for them to download Keystone. They download Keystone, they put their weight in, they put their height in, they put everything in there. So automatically it pulls through, so we can use the Cash McCardle formula to give them their calories. And we would have obviously asked them to fill out basically, sedentary, all that sort of stuff, so we know more about them. As soon as they put it in, that pulls it straight into our portal, which is the coaching portal for Keystone. Then from that, we punch in a couple of numbers, put them on their calorie deficit for the 16 weeks. We normally start people around 20, 30% for the calorie deficit, depends on who they are. We upload the program that's best suited for them. Go bang, the program goes straight out to the app. The nutrition goes straight out to the app. There's about 100 recipes that go straight out to them in for the app.
And shopping list, right? That's the other cool thing.
So it's like everything is there for them. What we're releasing at the moment is there's a compliance score that will go into the app for them, so they can see how compliant they are on a daily basis. So we in the portal receive a compliance ratio. So as you scroll through all of your members, you can see someone who's 100% compliant, 33% compliant. So you can scroll through your members, and for us, we rate compliance based on if you train 4 times a week, if you hit 100% of your calories, and if you hit 10,000 steps, right? That's our big compliance ratios for us. So if you scroll down, someone's like 70% compliant, you can hover over it. You can see if their steps are low or if their calories are off, or if they have only hit like 2 of the training sessions. Then you can just hit the chat function, go, hey, Liam, you went 300 calories over yesterday. Make sure you dip your calories today and you actually hit them on point. Or, hey, Liam, you only hit 3,000 steps. Like, man, today I need you to hit 7,500 as a minimum. So you can scroll through about 100 clients, give them an instant message through exactly a feedback loop of what they did the day before, if you wanted to do. It would take you like 30 minutes, and you're coaching like 100 people a day with specific individual comments to them. And everything they track with the nutrition comes in, so you can see what they're eating. If they're hitting your calories, but they're just eating processed food, you can go into it and go, hey, Liam, I want you to stop eating the fucking Ben & Jerry's to do flexible dieting. I want you to start eating like some better fats, some better protein, some better carbohydrates. If they're not like using the right weights for their training sessions, like, hey, Liam, I need you to create that progressive overload. So for now, what we do is we get them set up on Keystone, where they essentially have they have information delivered to them from Keystone. So it's daily tips every single day, straight out to them in the app, in the messaging function. We message them every other day through the app. So it's not every day, but we check in every 48 to 72 hours. Then we look at what they did in the last couple of days, send an individualized message. It takes about 30 seconds to 60 seconds per client. And then on a weekly basis, a slightly bigger recap. It's a weekly to fortnightly basis. So we look over the last 14 days and then give them actual focuses for the next 14 days. So it's like, this is your next 14 days focus. Every Friday, they upload photos in the app, which is before and after, that goes to your portal so you can see them with their before and afters, which obviously for that, you can send them more messages and, hey, we're going in the right direction, great work. They're uploading their weight and their skin folds or their girth measurements in there, so you can see that trending down for the weight they're trying to achieve. There's a Facebook group. We still use that at the moment, but all chat functionality goes through Keystone to make it a closed loop. But we create the community inside, a Facebook group. Still post your sweaty selfies. Like, let's do a Facebook Live where we still have conversations. And we still do like a webinar every other week. But now we've also, that's essentially that component. But then, so that's how we run. our $50 a week program? And then how do we run our $37 a week program for our gyms? Okay. So that's, again, slightly different, man. Like, we wanted to give as much value as we can to our clients and our current customers, with RBT. So with that, we wanted to help mimic as much as possible our current sessions before COVID-19. So what we did is we created 6 online classes a day. And we essentially have 2 coaches run each class, and they're Zoom-based classes. So all the classes are actually written inside Keystone, and it's a training plan for the month of April right now. And they can go into their Keystone, they can see their workout beforehand. I did videos for every single workout, which is a description, so they can watch the video of me telling them how we want the workout to flow before it starts. They're like, okay, cool, I know how to prep this when I'm at home. And I've mixed them up between HIIT and tone classes. So essentially there's like a HIIT, like a high-intensity training class, or there's a weight-based class. So we do 3 high-intensity classes, 3 weight-based classes a week, because obviously we use weights at RBT. But we've changed the modalities to drop sets, to time under tension, to partial reps, so we can still create like that level of muscle soreness and fatigue where they're used to feeling inside RBT. So they have HIIT classes, they have tone classes, there's 9 different essentially weight-based classes, there's 9 different HIIT classes, and they go through each of them twice over a 6-week period. And then there's another 18 classes that gets delivered. After the classes get done live, so they tune in, they can go like 6 a.m., 6:45, 9:30, 12, 5:30, 6:30. After they do this, the classes are recorded, the link is dropped into Keystone, and if they couldn't make a class, they can press play on the YouTube video and they can join in at their own time for that day's workout, so they can submit the workout later. So there's no excuses for them not actually doing the training session and making sure they hit those 4 sessions per week. And then we have live cooking classes, and then we have live yoga classes. So we've released those as well. We had a friend of mine do a mindset seminar last week. I did a nutrition seminar the week before. Next week, we're doing a habit-based seminar. So I'm just, because I can do it during the day and everyone's at home, they just like log off from their work and they jump in on a seminar with me, and I can help give more value to our members as much as we possibly can. And I think that's the cool thing for right now. And for everyone, like, that's how we're running ours. That doesn't mean that's how you have to run yours. Like, we wanted to deliver as much value as we possibly could to our members so they can feel like they're moving forward. I taught people how to fill backpacks with 20 kilos worth of weight with some sandbags, electrical tape. And like, when I'm doing the workouts, I'll use a backpack because there's no excuses. It's not that I have weights and they don't. Like, I'll use the backpack. If you don't have weights, you're with me. We don't run excuses at RBT. Don't tell me you don't have the weight, because I'll tell you right now, man, like with some of the tempos, like jumping a backpack on my back and like 20 kilos in the backpack and doing some split squats, like Bulgarian split squats, 3 seconds down, 3 second hold, 3 seconds up, like doing that for like 12 reps. And it's like 2 minutes, time under tension on one leg. My legs are on fire. My ass is sore for like 5 days. Like, it's insane. So it's just being creative with your programming as well, man. And making people feel that like they're still putting resistance against their muscles, and you haven't changed your philosophies as a coach and what you've been teaching them. They're actually just getting resistance training inside a different stimulus now. You're just doing a different style of training to still give the same approach or the same results you were trying to achieve beforehand.
Yeah, exactly. I think one thing I've really loved seeing how you guys have gone about delivering it at RBT is just how simple is better. And just you don't want to overwhelm people with all of this. Like, again, they just want the same things. They just want to look good naked and feel good, right? So what's the minimum amount of things hoops that you have to get them to jump through in order to help them get that result? Sure, like, you need to put your program up with heaps of features and benefits, but at the end of the day, like, if you're trying to create like this elaborate membership site and PDFs and all that sort of stuff, you don't need to do that if you're with Keystone, because Keystone does it all for you. But B, it's not really what they're after. The theme of this whole podcast has been like, they're after a result. So what can you do to deliver a simple online program that people are really stoked with and is going to deliver them a good result?
100%, man. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, leads are plentiful out there. There's a lot of people at home. that are stuck gaining weight right now. So, on the marketing, some people will comment like, is this really the focus of people right now? It's like, yeah, man, 100%. Our leads are still it's cheaper than before on average. We're still making sales every day. So you can still make 1 to 2 sales every single day. And if you're selling a 16-week challenge, that's $800 to $1,600 of revenue if you're selling it at $50 a week every single day. So if you're doing that 5 days a week, you're selling like $5,000 worth of training a week as a minimum. Okay, so for you, that's like $250K online business. Like that could be better than what you were doing in the gym. Like I don't know, and you don't have to pay your lease and your overheads. But like you're marketing your 16-week challenge, or you can market a 28-day challenge if you want to, and you can sell them at the $37.50 a week. And they have to opt out. So it just continues for another 16 weeks. Like that could be your sales process. But for you, the marketing, for the person listening, the marketing on Facebook, it still works. Mm-hmm. Getting people in, you could do a 7-day trial of our 16 weeks. Like you could market that. There's so many different ways to do it, guys. But Facebook ads still work. Instagram ads still work. Getting referrals from your clients still works. You just need to create a program that people want to be a part of, get results that people are happy with. The thing you do have to do, though, is you have to bring a totally different fucking energy, right? Like for us, like, yes, you don't have to just do live workouts. Like, like I said, like we've done online programming before and we don't have online training. We still don't, with the older people, we don't do live sessions for them. Okay.
Yeah, correct.
Gyms, man, we do live sessions. So I'm taking like 3 of those a week myself. And most of our managers taking like 4 to 5 of them each. But dude, like these sessions are hard. Like, and I'm going.
I've seen them on Instagram, man. Like they look intense.
Oh man, like at the end of it, I'm like, holy shit! Like that's
my Tyler.
Day. Like I'm so like like one of the it's funny, but they're watching you go through it, and you're inspiring them because you're pushing the envelope and you're pushing through it. So one of our coaches is always kind of coaching. The other coach is like crushing the workout. You're inspiring the members to stay with the tempo or to pick up the pace or to go through the hit. You're showing that it can be hard for anyone. So there's no excuses on, oh, this isn't hard enough for me. It's like, dude, like I said, I can bench press like 150 kilos, but like yesterday I did like 20 jack push-ups, like plyo push-ups into 20 floor press, with 20 kilo backpack on a 2 mom for 4 rounds. So like by the 3rd and 4th round, like my chest is sore today. Like I am so sore because of essentially the amount of volume I was putting through my chest. My ass is killing me from like doing my lunges and like lateral lunges. I was like, you can still get DOMs. You can still get a great workout in. You can still burn calories. Maybe you're not getting massive and jacked, okay? Maybe that might be hard to market that right now. But if you're trying to help the general population lose weight and feel great, like guys, this is the time that you should be going and trying to get as many people as you can. And if you want, market that radius, 6 to 7 kilometers around your gym and sell them into your online training. And then when your gym opens, you've just got another 30 to 40 members that can come straight into your gym. So it's like the perfect time to continue to grow your membership base as well.
Yeah, 100%. And we're seeing that because I think some people, I don't know why, are not going hard on their marketing and pausing a lot of their ads. Like at the moment, Facebook ads are, as you said, a lot cheaper than they were before. And so, yeah, you can either choose to be part of the crowd that does nothing, sits on their ass, or you can choose to be part of the crowd that has a really sore ass like TJ and works hard and pushes through this and doesn't use this as an excuse to play small.
Well, I think, bro, like the biggest thing is this, man. Like, I always look at it like this. You control the controllables, okay? I can't control COVID-19, okay? I can't control anything else in the world. What I can control is how I show up. Now, my work, the identity that I have, like my identity as the work identity is an inspirational fitness leader, okay? Now, that's what I call myself. If anyone says, you want that, like, I don't care, okay? Like, my identity is that. And so what does that mean? What's the behaviors around that? So my identity when I show up to work every day is an inspirational fitness leader. So my behaviors are based on that identity. Okay, I've got virtues. Okay, my virtues for that are courageous, integrity, respect, Like I have these virtues that shift under that identity. And underneath these virtues, it's like, okay, I have these behaviors. Like what happens? I must read 45 minutes a day. I must do deep work time blocks every single day. I must put out content every single day. Like these are my behaviors that match my identity as a worker. So like I'm not going to go sit on my ass right now. I control my controllables, which is my identity. Okay. And if I'm not marketing, if I'm not selling, if I'm not helping people, I'm not staying true to my identity based under my work part of my life. So like if you have a strong enough identity on who you are and how you want to show up in the world, like this is not a negotiable. It's a non-negotiable to market, to sell, to change lives, because that's who I am as a person. Like it doesn't matter COVID-19, doesn't matter if I'm living on Mars. Like for me, like my identity is I help people every single day of my life, and nothing will stop that. I think if you are like, yes, there's stress. Yes, there's fear. Yes, you could lose it all. Like, who knows? Like, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But if you constantly live in, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, you aren't living in today. It's like, so fuck tomorrow. Like, do your best today. And your best today is help your current members. Your best today is sell some new members. Your best today is give information out to prospects. Your best today is, give your employees, if you have them, certainty. That your best today is grow yourself and get some knowledge so you can contribute to society. If you can be your best today, then like you're becoming a stronger person for tomorrow anyway. Like your ability to be your best, like your heroic self and self-actualize, as Abraham Maslow says, like instead of retreating into safety, stepping forward into growth. Now, the challenges that come tomorrow, I'm going to be a better person because of it. And like every single day that I treat today as my best, and like, the Stoic philosophy is like, all you do is like you aim for your target, you pull that bow back and you let go of the arrow as best you can. And like, that's all you can control. And like shit may hit the arrow and you might not hit the target every single day, but every day you still stand up. Every day you still face that target. Every day you still pull back that bow and you let go of that bow and you aim for that fucking target. And if you miss, you get back up tomorrow and you do it again, because that's who you are as a person. You are a life-changing individual in the health and fitness industry, trying to make people live longer, be happy, and be fucking healthy. So please, guys, stop being in self-pity, because if your gym does close, just open up another one. Like, that's the reality of it. And we if your gym fails, that's not a reflection of you right now. It's just what is happening. Like, you are not a failure if your gym fails. You learn from it. You build this online business. Maybe you go online from now. Or maybe you learned all this cool stuff and you go into a different route. Maybe instead of one-on-one, you do semi-private. Or maybe you open up a garage gym. Who knows what's tomorrow's going to happen? But if you start living based on the hypotheticals, you're not really living in today.
100%. Man, I'm going to go run through a brick wall. That's good. Guys, we got the Fit Pro Formula program. Go to fitproformula.com. We guarantee you get 30 leads, 30 sales in the program. We're helping you guys with online right now because that's the only thing we're allowed to do, obviously, because of this thing worldwide. But we've been helping people with online programs for years now. So our actual course content hasn't changed. And we haven't just thrown up this program out of nowhere. We've been helping people get 30 new online clients in 90 days for a couple of years now. So just go to that website, fitproformula.com, opt in, book a call with one of our team. We'll see if we can actually help you. But yeah, guys, like just think about what 30 new clients online could do for your business right now. Imagine what that will do for your gym when your gym does reopen. Or if you just want to build an online empire, you can do that as well. Either way.
Too easy.
All right.
Podcast.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
See you guys.